What's up, guys? My name is Jourdyn Patterson. Thank you for clicking on this video. It means the world to me. It is February 26th, 2020. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. So today I'm going to be telling you guys my journey. And for those who don't know me, like, I've had a lot of health issues this past year and a half. So let's just get right into the video. So going back to May 24th, 2018. It was right after I graduated from college. I graduated with a BS in kinesiology. I woke up one day and I was just literally like 3 months pregnant, looking like bloated, like hard as a rock. Sorry, TMI, I'm going to be talking a lot about constipation and not being able to go to the bathroom. And for those people who have had problems with constipation, you know how frustrating it actually is. You know, it just is honestly so freaking annoying. Waking up that day, not knowing where I would be going, but coming here, like, it's just been a really long journey. Anyways, back to the story. I was kind of frustrated just not being able to go to the bathroom. You know, telling my parents, I was kind of like, something's going on. Like, oh, you're fine. Like, try this, try that, and see if you can go to the bathroom. And I was kind of like, being a science major, I kind of knew like something was off. I'm not someone who just wants to put a band-aid over something or a quick fix. I want to get to the root of the problem. I was very determined because I think it had been going on for about like 3 weeks. I think about that. Ugh. I took it upon myself and I found a doctor here in Sonoma County. I went to the doctors and they basically told me, yo, go gluten-free. So I went gluten-free for about like 3 months and I was still like frustrated, still wasn't really able to go to the bathroom. And so went back again, did some more tests, like, okay, try going dairy-free. And then they just told me I was like deficient in some vitamins. They gave me some vitamins to take. I went on a trip in December, came back 2019, and everything was like okay, but like still was like eh. And oh yeah, I was working as a clinical strength trainer right after college. So I was working behind my boss who had owned the company here in Sonoma County, and I kind of told him all of my problems I was having, and he was just like, it doesn't sound right, like something's going on. His wife has Hashimoto's disease, and so he's kind of like known about all these different health problems, and he's very aware of it. And so I was, every day I kind of just tell him more and more and like trying to figure out, because I wasn't able to eat certain foods, and it got really frustrating because I'd never have been restricted of foods, and so it was kind of very all new to me. And anyways, a lot of our clients also who have businesses or, you know, doctors or whatever, we had a chiropractor. And at that time I was having really bad problems with my lower back, and what I thought was a pinched nerve. Well, he was one of our clients, so I went and saw him. His studio was literally just down the street from our studio. So I went in and saw him, and basically he told me he took some x-rays and I had scoliosis. One of my discs, which I thought was a pinched nerve, was just super inflamed. And so he did a couple different like tests on me, and then he gave me a couple adjustments. And everything was okay, but like not the best. And then a couple days later, I was having a lot of problems with my feet. And then it was my knee, and then it was my wrist, and then it was my hand, and it was my shoulder. And guys, it was all on my right side. And it was the side that I was having a lot of back pain. And so I went back to him and he gave me this paper, and it kind of showed you the links between, you know, your bone structure and your nerves and your organs, and how our body completely works as one, as a machine. And so he kind of broke it down, and he's like, if one thing's off, another thing's going to be off. And kind of expressed to me and got me into thinking like, oh, like, maybe my digestion is off because I need more adjustments and this and that. And went back to him every single time. Like, things kind of got a little better, but I was still having so many problems. My feet problems started going away, and my hand got better, but you know, the adjustments on my back were gonna take some time. And so I was still having a lot of problems with my stomach. And at this time I was going to the bathroom, but it got to the point where when I was eating foods, I always got nauseous. Again, it was just like random foods like bread and oatmeal, certain fruits, vegetables. Literally, it was just weird. And I was just like, I shouldn't like be like this. And you know, I've always had anxiety, and at the time, being younger, I kind of just dismissed it, thinking like, oh, everyone has anxiety. But then I started developing food anxiety. So anytime I would go anywhere to eat, I was stressed about what to eat. And there was times where I wouldn't eat. And there was times where my stomach was hurting, and the only way to cope that feeling was to eat more. So then I started developing a binge eating habit. It kind of just all spiraled out of control. And I think it was like almost like every day. I worked in Sonoma County and in Napa. So I was driving about 30 minutes both ways. I was listening to podcasts every time I was in the car. I was on YouTube just researching video books. You know, I was just talking to people because since I worked in the health industry, a lot of our clients were, like I said, were doctors or had their own experiences and whatnot. And I had a client at the time who had an autoimmune disease of her liver. Every time I saw her like once a week, she'd always ask me questions, and we would always just keep talking, and she was like, you know, like, it kind of sounds like what I was going through. By the time when she was going through was in her late 30s. You know, I'm 23, turning 24 soon. So she was like, it's kind of early for you to like have these problems. And so again, my mind just started racing out of control, and I was just super just like every day, like waking up, like, what am I gonna eat today? What's gonna hurt my stomach? Like, what I need to do? Like, I still need to keep researching, yada, yada. Like I said, just kept spiraling out of control. And so I came across Maggie McDonald's Instagram. Actually, I think it was her YouTube. And I started watching her, and she was posting videos on food combining. And then I realized, oh, she was getting this information from Kenzie Burke's food combining. And so I looked more into that. And so the whole ordeal with food combining is you're not restricting foods, but you're eating foods in a certain way. So you weren't eating carbs and proteins together, you're eating them separately. You could have vegetables with carbs, you could have vegetables with your protein. Fats you could have with either your proteins or your carbs, but better off by itself. You know, it's just a style of eating rather than just like restricting foods. And I never got to the point where like I wasn't eating foods because my stomach was hurting. So I looked into that, and I was just like, like nothing really had changed, and the doctors never really helped. You know, they just gave me laxatives, and I was just like, I don't want this. This is a quick fix. Like, what is the actual problem? So I was determined. I was not giving up. And a lot of people looked at me like, you're kind of crazy. Like you have no problem. But it was like, no, like this is my body. Like something else is going on. Again, every day I was bloated. I just like being short. I have a small torso, so everything just like sits in my stomach, and so just felt uncomfortable every time I ate, and I knew I didn't want to live like this for the rest of my life. So I kept going. We had another client at my job who studied and practiced Chinese medicine, but she had retired. So she would hear me. I mean, she was the first person I met there. She would hear me every day talk with my boss, and she was like, you know, just come see me. Let's do a couple tests that she had, and let's just see what's going on. And, you know, she was the first person who was hearing me out, because again, no one really knew how to help me. So talking with her, she was kind of saying, oh, you might have this candida. I don't know if it's exactly how you say it. It's how I say it. But it's an yeast overgrowth in the stomach. Did some different tests and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, she kind of put in my head that carbs are the enemy. When you eat it, you know how you want more of it. And she was like, that's why it's not good for you. It's because you continue to wanting to eat it. And so in my head, I was like, crap, like I love carbs. Like I guess I can't eat carbs. And so she had me go on this diet, and I literally wasn't having any carbs, no grains. I was grain free. And so I was really only eating like veggies and protein. She basically told me, she goes, what you eat for dinner is what you're going to be eating for breakfast. And I was like, okay, again, this is the only person who's truly helped me. Like, what do I have to lose now? So I just went with it, and I was eating, the only like, I guess carb source I was eating was vegetables and sweet potatoes. So in the morning I was having like ground turkey with vegetables and sweet potatoes for a snack. I was having more veggies and more meat or eggs in the morning. And then for lunch, I was having more veggies and more protein. And dinner was veggies and protein. Like literally, it was just like literally what I was eating all the time. And, you know, like the bloating started going away. I felt good. I did feel good. Don't get me wrong. But because I wasn't having carbs, I was exhausted. This time now, I think it was about coming into summertime. So it was like May. So let's say a year. And I lost a lot of weight, and I got to the point where I was going to the gym, but it wasn't like I was going to the gym for a reason. I was just going to be active because I knew I needed to be active to be healthy. And I was lifting weights, but it got to the point where I'd come home from work. I worked from 6 a.m. to about like 2 p.m. I was exhausted. I couldn't do anything. I literally would come home, I would lay down, and I would sleep. I was exhausted. I was grumpy. I was irritable. Again, I was exhausted. I had no motivation, but I looked good. So looking and feeling good and on the outside, but inside I was miserable. Absolutely miserable. So then I kept telling my boyfriend, I was like, I can't live like this. Like this, I can't do this. I can not continue to live like this. And so I think it was like towards the end of summer, and was it the end of summer? I think it was. Time has gone by fast, but then also really slow. It was after my boyfriend's birthday, October, November. Pause. I was not liking how my job was going. I was not happy there. And the reason was because we had just hired on new staff and the atmosphere was completely changing. It's something I did not want to be a part of. And so with my faith, I was praying to God saying, you know, like if there's an opportunity for me out there, please show it to me. Like I need something new. Like being here making me miserable. My anxiety was going through the roof. It was just something I just did not want to be part of anymore. And at the time I was also nannying part-time, you know, trying to stack that money. But anyways, my nanny mom was like, what will it take for us to make you want to be full-time with us? And I was just like, I need this many hours. I need to be making this much because, you know, I live by myself. Well, I have a roommate, but I live on my own. I pay my bills. Like, I need to get money somehow. And she was like, okay. And I was like, okay. But okay. And so my best friend Kinsey from home was visiting me, and she was going to New York, and I was telling her, still being at my old job as a clinical strength trainer, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to go this year, because we went the year before, like I said. And I told her, I was like, well, I do have this opportunity to like maybe like go nanny full time, because she was like, F it, like just do it. Call my mom. And I was like, what do I do? And my mom was like, at this point in with your mental health and your physical health, like you need to do what's best for you. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And so quit my job, became the nanny, booked my trip to New York, and I felt good. I felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. But yeah, I was still just like, inside I was just not happy. So again, time goes on, and I think it was about Halloween time, and I had gone home. Oh no, guys. It was around Thanksgiving because we had the fires here in Sonoma County, and I had gone home for a week. So that Sunday, I think I went to church. Yeah, because my nanny's fam was in the red zone. So like they were gone, and oh my god, guys, it was miserable. Second time being a part of the fires, and this time I wasn't evacuated, but the first time I was, so my anxiety again was just like through the roof. That was a crazy time actually. Like cops were coming down the street with the blow horn saying like, please evacuate at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Like it was a horrible deal. And that was actually the first time me and my boyfriend went on our first date. Fun fact. Anyways, back to the story. Oh yeah. So I went to church and I heard the sermon from Pastor Ron, and it like broke me mentally. It was just like a huge eye opener, like basically saying like you have to make those changes. If you're unhappy, make some changes. And I was like, okay, right now I'm making some changes. And actually I decided, you know, I went to another fact, I went to a Christian high school. It was my decision, and I was strong in my faith, but I was not that strong as I know now. I bought this book, and it was called the 40-Day Prayer Book, and 40 days I would read it every morning, and it taught me how to pray. But it not only taught me how to pray, but it taught me to believe. And at that time I felt so hopeless. Again, I was depressed. My anxiety went through the roof. Like I felt so lonely, and the fact that like I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And so this book truly helped me realize that my happiness was not where it needed to be. I was not happy with myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't even know who I was. And this book taught me to really dig deep and trying to figure out what I wanted out of this life. again, being a nanny, I kind of was just like, I don't know what's my next step in life. And for those who are in our early 20s and don't really have like a clear idea or picture of what we want to be in life, it's kind of discouraging not knowing. And so still being in that limbo area, I kind of was like, I'm gonna do some self-work. And so I made it my mission to find out who I was, fall in love with who I am, become my own best friend, grow deeper into my faith with Christ, you know, like that was like what I wanted at the time. And I was like, since I am a nanny, I do have some time off, like this is the best time to do it. And so I really started like going in deeper into scripture and my faith, and again, finding out who I was meditating, praying a whole crap ton. And again, I was happy, but I was never sincerely happy. And I felt God continue to push me. He kept pushing me, kept pushing me. You know, I quit my job. I got this new job. I found my personal relationship with Christ. And he kept just pushing me more and more outside of my box. And I knew that I needed to step out of this box to grow. And so I felt like there was one more thing that he was pushing me to do. And at that time, me and my boyfriend, we were good, but I know that my mental health and my problems had a huge toll and effect on our relationship. And it wasn't like we were fighting. There was no huge problem. Like, we both loved each other so much. He's such an incredible person. And I kind of just told him, like, I can't keep treating you the way I'm treating you. Like, it is not fair to you. I was like, I am so unhappy with myself. And my mom always told me, like, in order to love someone else, you have to love yourself. And I told him, I was like, I need to find it in me to love myself. And guys, he was heartbroken. And to this day, I kept telling him, and I was just like, if it's in God's will, he's going to make this happen. And I'm such an optimistic person that I came to realization that this is what was needed, but I know for him, it was going to take some time. And he was a believer too. Like, he grew up in a Christian home. And so we took some time apart, not even thinking that we were going to get back together. I had no idea what was next. You know, I was giving it all to God and like laying down me, like, I wanted to learn who I am. I want to find my purpose. And in that time, he will show me. And so we broke up right after Thanksgiving, and it was really hard, but I took that time to sit down and build those freaking healthy habits, kick those bad habits to the curb. You know, at that time, again, with my health, I was like very in this limbo area. And actually, let's put that on pause. Let's rewind. I think about a month or 2 months prior to that, I forgot about this. I got this really bad pain. Actually, to describe it, it was chronic pain. When I say chronic pain, I mean, I've had 3 tattoos. I've had ear piercings. I've broken my collarbone. You can't fix your collarbone. All you can do is wear a brace. I tore my lateral meniscus. I broke my elbow in half when I was in 2nd grade. And you know, I rolled my ankles. Like, I played sports. Like, my body has been beat up from that. So I know what pain is. This pain, guys, every night would have me in fetal position, just bawling my eyes out. I wasn't going anywhere. This happened for 15 days straight. I don't know why the F I allowed that to happen, but I was not wanting to go to the doctors because no one ever had helped me. And so I was just like, I'll figure this out on my own. Well, I, again, didn't want to go anywhere, but one of my best friends who was living in Burlingame, she's like, I want you to come visit me. And I was like, you know, I'm really, like, I want to, like, I freaking miss you, but, like, I'm nervous because of this pain. I actually bought a heating pad because that was, like, the only thing that would soothe the pain. Not make it go away, but it would soothe it. So I brought it with me, and I told her, I was like, I'm sincerely nervous. I'm freaking nervous. I don't know how I'm going to react to what, like, we're going to be doing tonight, but, like, we'll see. And so actually that Sunday we were gonna go to F45. We signed up for F45. Shout out to Gabby Shay, because she was posting about F45 and we didn't have any here yet. And I really wanted to try it. And so I was excited about that. Anyways, we went to dinner. I was fine. And actually we went out that night and I was fine. Came home, my brain just started turning and my stomach kind of went downhill. Didn't really sleep that night. And I got on the phone with my mom, and she was like, go to the hospital. And I was like, bet. So I went to the emergency room at Stanford in Palo Alto. And they were like, we think you have a bleeding ulcer. And I was like, huh? Like, what? I did not think it was this bad, but like, that's how bad it actually was. They gave me some numbing pain, and honestly, it was the only thing in 15 days that made me feel okay. And so they sent my information to the GI specialist at Stanford, and I think that they wanted me to schedule endoscopy. So then I got the endoscopy done, and all they said was like, oh, you have inflammation in your stomach, go on a low FODMAP diet. So I was doing that, and that's when it was good. Okay, now fast forward to Thanksgiving. Nutrition was pretty good, you know, I was going to the bathroom, everything was pretty, it seemed like it was normal. Bloating some days, and I didn't really understand it. And when I say bad bloating, it's not like, oh, you eat and you're full. It was like hard, again, like uncomfortable pain. And so, okay, fast forward again, me and boyfriend broke up. Christmas came around and I was okay. Me and my friend Kinsey were going to New York, and New York was great. I think I was fine. My stomach was pretty fine, but again, I was restricting myself a lot. And actually, I ended up going vegan. With the low FODMAP diet, they have you not eating certain foods. And I was like, I've never tried cutting out eggs. So I tried cutting out eggs, you know, like I'm just going to go full out vegan. So gluten-free and vegan. Only thing that had helped me, only thing in the past year and a half that has helped me was going vegan and gluten-free. I was getting enough protein with eating beans and lentils, and I was still drinking vegan protein shakes. Probably wasn't getting enough. I wasn't tracking my macros, but I felt better. I had the energy to go do things. My anxiety was going down, like whatever. Felt like a normal human being. And then I actually came to realization. I was like, with this fitness thing, I was like, I need more structure. So then I found a coach, Kelly, and I'll leave her in the description box. Kelly Nicole Fit is her IG handle, and she has changed my life. That would be for another video. But anyways, went to New York and then came back. Fast forward to New Year's 2020. And so this is where everything has been pretty good. I mean, we're only in February, so things got really good again. Work was good. Eating was good. My mental health was getting better. It wasn't perfect, but it was getting better. Again, I was still single, doing whatever, was working out, things were good. But then I was looking at my progress pictures, and everything was still just up and down, up and down, up and down. Weekly, things were never like the same. And so I got really frustrated because obviously with my progress, I want to see it. But every week going to the gym, and some days I wasn't feeling good. Other days I was feeling better. You know, it was just very up and down. And I was just like, shit, like, can I just get a break? Like, I really just want it to be just like, I don't know. I just wanted to be okay, and I still like wasn't okay. I think it was like a couple weeks into January. I texted my ex. He worked at the bank, and I needed financial help, and so I was like, who else better to talk to than to him? I'd rather not go to bank, so I was like, I'll talk to him. Ended up talking to him, and he just like spilt his heart out, and I was just like, shook. And it's like, at that time with my mental health, I was like, what is love? Like, what does it really mean to be in love with someone and be in a relationship? And I was like, he has all those qualities. And we started talking, and he, again, just poured his heart out to me, and I poured out my heart to him. And I was just like, okay, I think we both are in a better place, like, mentally. And I was like, we're friends. We're not rush into anything, but let's get coffee sometime. I ran into him at the gym, which was like, I was like, whew, you've been working out, you looking good. And so we hung out, and then he was like, I wanted to take you to Disneyland for Christmas, and if you know me, I love Disneyland. And I was like, we're so good, but I don't want things to be rushed. But I was like, all right, let's go to Disneyland. And it was the best trip ever. And I was listening to one of these podcasts. Oh, no. Stefan Speaks. I'll leave his Instagram handle down below too. He forever changed my life. I got into reading a lot, podcasts, YouTube, whatever. And he kind of said, like, to test a relationship, go on a long drive. And I was like, perfect, we'll drive to LA. Drove to LA, guys, had 3 nights in LA. Perfect trip. I never thought it would have gone that good. And so it was like great. And we were just like, you know, time kept going on. We're like, all right, let's get back together. So he's my man. I love him. We're better than freaking ever. So that shows you, if you're in a relationship and you're unhappy, get out. Be happy by yourself. Like, that's okay to not want to be with someone because you want to focus on yourself. You need to focus on yourself. This is your life. And so realizing getting back with him, I was like, my mental health is so much better and my output on life is so much better. Again, I was still progressing in my relationship with God. Everything was good. I actually joined a Bible study group. Again, kept stepping out of that comfort zone and opportunities kept coming my way and things were doing good. And about 3 weeks ago, I would say about 3 weeks ago, my stomach got bad again. And I wasn't able to go to the bathroom. I didn't go to the bathroom for like 4 days. And I was like, what the? Like, I was doing so good, and then all of a sudden that happened. And coming down to it, my doctor had me on this cleanse I did the first time to help like flush everything out. Not a cleanse, it was just this, it's called magnesium citrate. Do not take this without talking to your doctor first. And you know, again, I'm not a quick fix type of gal, but it was like I needed, like, anytime I ate or drank water, I'd get nauseous because everything was just sitting here. It was just sitting in my stomach. And so I was like, I can't eat without, like, I need to go to the bathroom. And so for 2 days I was on liquids. I was eating liquids and did that, and I was good. But nothing had changed. I still wasn't going to the bathroom. And so talking with my mom, my boyfriend, and my doctor, they want to do more tests. You know, I'm having an allergy test coming up soon. And I then was like, with my progress with working out, I was like, I need more protein in my diet. And I was realizing I was eating way too much fiber. That's why I was like inflamed all the time and bloated. So I started to eat fish. So I'm pescatarian now, whatever. And everything's been good. Everything has been good. But what I realized is that my anxiety was going through the roof. And you have no idea the amount of stress you put on your body when you mentally are not there. Your gut is your second brain. And so when you do have bad anxiety, stress, you're worrying, your gut is going to follow that. And that is one thing that I've noticed. And so I did a whole lot of digging to figure out what I needed to do to get my inflammation down. You know what I had to do? I had to pray. I had to journal. Drink tons of water. I needed to get out more. Just these little minor changes to my lifestyle, and has helped my anxiety so much. Again, if you read my Instagram captions, which I highly recommend, I promote a whole lot on mental health. I talk with my friends about mental health because it's not something that a lot of people talk about, and it needs to be talked about because not everyone's happy in life. And it's easier said than done, but putting everything in a box, like, you're not gonna get anywhere without dealing with it. And so I used to just put my anxiety to the side, but now I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with those problems. It's still a work in progress. Every day is something new, but with those healthy habits, I became determined to continue to grow. And in order to do that, I need to face my demons, I need to step out in front, and I need to get a handle on it. And so, again, this is a journey. This is a lifestyle. I've made sure that my nutrition is up to date. Physical health, you know, going to the gym is what makes me happy. And so that's what I need to do. And finally sitting down and making this video is something way outside of my comfort zone. I never thought this would have happened, but I felt God pushing me. And sometimes you have to take those steps of faith, the leap of faith, in order to really find your purpose in life. You know, like, what is the purpose of life? Are you just gonna work your 40 hours a week and then go to the gym and eat? Like, is that all your life is gonna be? I don't want that for myself. I sincerely don't. And so I came to conclusion, like, I want something, I'm gonna go after it. I'm tired of sitting back. So yeah, in further videos, I want to go more in depth on like mental health and more on like nutrition, but I have a whole lot of that on my Instagram. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you got through the whole video. I know it was a whole lot of rambling. I'm sorry if I bounced back and forth, but this is overall is my journey. So yeah, thanks.